Welcome to the AI Employee Kit walkthrough. In this video, we are going to customize and install the AI Employee Kit to make your AI copilot inside of ChatGPT. As mentioned on the sales page, you will need a Plus or Pro account with ChatGPT to get the full benefits of the AI Employee Kit. Let's get started with the download walkthrough. As you see on the screen, I have the kit downloaded. Before we start, be sure to save it in a folder for your business in a location you will be able to find easily. That way, as updates come out or as you need to make changes, you know where your files are. The download file comes as a .zip file, so to get started you have to decompress it. On a Mac, you just need to double-click the file and the archive utility will decompress it. Then you can simply click on the folder to open it. On a PC, there are a couple more steps, but still fairly simple. If you need the steps, I'll link a video walkthrough in the description of this video. Now that we have the folder open, you will see the files for the AI Employee Kit. There are 3 files and 2 folders. The first file we'll discuss is the instructions. This is the core instructions for the AI Employee Kit that you'll give to ChatGPT that tells your copilot how to handle the documents we'll upload. The next document is the task sheet. This is a spreadsheet that has most of the core prompts and principles to assist your copilot in handling various marketing and branding tasks. We'll cover more on this in a little bit. Now let's cover the 2 folders. The core knowledge files are the prompt sheets that help your copilot operate as your marketing partner. You will not need to touch any of these. The next folder is the brand files folder. This has your brand identity worksheet and brand information sheet. These documents are how you train your AI copilot on your brand. The last document is the AI Employee Kit user guide. Let's go ahead and open the guide while we're here. There are 2 separate links to custom GPTs inside of this guide that you will need. The first one is Brandon Wright, our brand identity coach GPT. This in-depth custom GPT walks you through all the details you need for your brand. So we'll get started by clicking the link and opening the Brandon Wright Custom GPT. Now that we have Brandon open, we'll click on Build My Brand Identity Worksheet. Once you click the conversation starter, Brandon will automatically deliver you a blank brand identity worksheet. While that starts, I'm going to open up the brand identity worksheet built in the AI Employee Kit. To make this go as fast as possible, I'll go ahead and set these up to be kind of split screens so I can easily jump from one to the other. Before I get too deep in this, I am not doing this for a real business. This is a fictional business just to show you how this works. So, as you see on this screen, when I fill out the core business information in the worksheet, I will just be putting your brand's name as the placeholder along with some other generic content. I will be editing this video down so you won't have to sit through any of the waiting. Feel free to pause whenever you need to and follow along at your own speed. In this walkthrough, the fictional business I'm starting is a cleaning company named King's Cleaning Services. The only thing I have in mind right now is the name, and I'll say that I do residential and commercial cleaning in Kingsport, Tennessee, which is where I'm located. So let's get started. The first thing that we're going to do is fill out the information at the top of the worksheet. So we'll put in the brand's name. We'll put in the brand owner. We'll put in the year established. As mentioned earlier, I filled this section out with placeholder content. And before we move forward with the workshop, keep in mind that you should only give ChatGPT the information that it needs. If you run your business out of your house and you don't want your address listed, you can remove the address altogether. To showcase that, I'm going to go ahead and remove the address, and I will go ahead and put in my service location. Once you have your core brand information filled out, down to the service location, and again, if you don't need the service location, you can go ahead and remove that or your phone number as well if you don't need that. But once you're finished, we'll come over to the Brandon Wright Custom GPT and we'll go ahead and say next and click on the send button. Now it's going to start with your brand's name. We will give it your brand's name and go ahead and hit send. Once we do that, we'll move on to the description of your business. And before it can write a description, it needs a little bit of information. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in a small paragraph I wrote about the business. Once I paste that in, I'll go ahead and hit the send button. Now it's going to give you the current business idea write-up, or rather, your business description. Under that, you will see some suggestions and questions. Take your time to answer these questions and add more details until you are happy with the write-up. When you are happy with the write-up, we can go ahead and copy the description And then we can come under our other information in our brand identity worksheet and paste it under the brand's description. Then we'll come back into GPT. We'll type next and hit send. Many steps in this process will work similar to the business description. It will give you a write-up, suggestions, and questions to make sure the desired write-ups are as complete as possible. So if you need to, don't forget to pause the video to move at your own speed. And quick disclaimer, be sure to read the entire message when you go through this process. It may ask for specific questions at the end of the message that needs a proper answer, or it won't move forward properly. Now, we'll move through the brand story. It will ask you a few questions about your story. Answer the questions until it gives you your business write-up without additional questions, and you are happy with your brand story. Now I've answered a couple questions. I'm going to go ahead and say move forward. I'll go ahead and copy the brand story write-up, paste it in over here, and we'll move forward with the target market. We'll answer a couple questions. Once you answer the questions, it will automatically give you a current write-up. Again, feel free to go through the suggestions or the questions to tighten it up. I'm going to go ahead and keep this write-up, so we're going to go ahead and copy this. I'll paste it in the brand identity worksheet. I'll come over to GPT, type next, and then we'll move forward into the branded avatar. This is also known as your marketing persona. This is a detailed description of your ideal client, ultimately bringing them to life as a character that we'll market to. If you have any additional information about the type of people who would hire you for your business, give it to ChatGPT now so it's included in this write-up. This includes the type of neighborhood they live in, if you know that information, where their kids go to school, everything. The more details in this write-up, the more specific, helpful, and successful your marketing efforts will be. Once you are happy with the write-up, we'll go ahead and highlight the write-up, we'll copy the write-up, and then paste it inside of our brand identity worksheet. We'll come over to GPT, type next, and hit send, and we'll move forward with our unique selling proposition. Once you are happy with your USP, we'll go ahead and copy that and paste it into our brand identity worksheet. We'll come back to GPT, type next, and hit send. And now we'll work on your tagline. Brandon will give you 25 options you can use for your business. If you already have a tagline, you can go ahead and put it in your worksheet and send it in chat. If not, you'll copy the tagline that you want to use. We'll come over and paste it in the brand identity worksheet. Then we'll come back in the chat, paste it in the chat, and hit send. Now that we have that locked in, we'll move on to your mission statement. When you're happy with it, we'll go ahead and highlight it. We'll copy it, paste it into our brand identity worksheet, come back to chat, say next, and now we'll move forward with our vision statement. When you're happy with it, we'll highlight it, copy it, come over to our brand identity worksheet, we'll paste it in, and then we'll come back to chat and type next and hit send. The next step is your core values. For the worksheet and your brand, we'll pick 3 that fit our brand. Once you have all 3 of the values you want in your brand identity worksheet, we're going to go ahead and copy these, and then we'll paste them in the chat so ChatGPT knows which 3 you used, and hit send. Now that you have your core values, we'll move on to the brand's tone. It will give you 5 options to choose from. Once you decide on the best tone for your brand, we'll copy that and come over in our brand identity worksheet, and we'll paste that in. Then we'll come back to the chat, paste it in, and hit send. Now we're going to work on the primary product or service description, so we'll tell it what the main service is, and we'll go ahead and click send. I'm going to come over here in the brand identity worksheet while that works. Make sure I have that typed into the brand identity worksheet as well. Then when you're happy with the write-up, you can go ahead and highlight the write-up. We'll copy that and then paste it over into our brand identity worksheet. Once you're done with that, we'll move on to the other services or products. I'll type that in the brand identity worksheet. Then I'll come over here, put it into the GPT, and hit send. When you're happy with the other services write-up, we're going to go ahead and copy this. We'll paste it in the brand identity worksheet, and then we'll type next and click send. Now we're going to focus on one of, if not the most important part of your brand identity worksheet, your primary call to action. This is the step that a person needs to take in order to become your customer or client. Once you decide on a call to action, we're going to go ahead and copy that. We'll come over to our brand identity worksheet and paste that in. We'll paste it into ChatGPT and then hit send. Now we'll move forward into the brand colors. Personally, this is one of my favorite parts of the brand identity workshop. If you have a specific color you want to start with, you can enter that here, give it a little guidance, or let it have full creative reign and let it start from scratch. I'm going to go ahead and say blue and hit send. Now it will give you 5 different color palettes. You can look through them, and when you find one that you like the sound of, you can simply grab the title of it, copy it, and paste it into ChatGPT and hit send. And now it's going to give you a visual preview of that color palette. After it generates a visual for the color palette, you can either ask for a different visual, or if you're happy, you can type those hex codes for each of the colors of the palette into your brand identity worksheet. Then we'll need to go into the next and final part of your brand identity worksheet, your brand's font. If you already have a font, you can enter it here. By default, I have Arial listed because the font is available almost anywhere. Once you have done that, congratulations, you now have finished your brand identity worksheet. Now, be sure to save it inside of the AI Employee Kit folder on your hard drive in a location that is easy to find, as I said earlier. That way, you can add in additional tasks when needed and update it with any new updates. The next file we're going to talk about is the brand information sheet. This is the living document for your brand. As you can see, it is the catch-all for everything else associated with your brand and business. You can list as much info as you want in this sheet. If you hold weekly specials or hold different events, you may want to update this weekly or monthly to contain that information. And once we finish building out our AI Copilot in a few minutes, I'll show you how to update these files when you have new information for it. Feel free to pause the video now if needed to go ahead and fill out this information. To save on time, we'll just act like we filled this out, make sure it's saved in the right location, and then we'll move on to the final step to customize our kit before we make our AI Copilot. And that is our task sheet. To keep it simple, I'll go ahead and open the task sheet in our Google Docs. From here you can see we have the core trigger legend as the first sheet that opens. This is important because it's where you can find the trigger to activate the core tasks. When you add your own tasks and prompts, this will automatically populate so you can access everything here. The next sheet is the branded tasks with prompts. We'll come back to this sheet in a bit. Then is the tasks with prompts. These are the tasks that have the prompts included in the spreadsheet. These are the core standard tasks for your AI Copilot. The next is tasks with prompt sheets. These are the tasks that are inside of the core knowledge files. As you see, the sheet directs your AI Copilot to the proper document so it handles tasks the right way. Now let's go back to the branded tasks with prompts. And this is where you can enter your own tasks and prompts that you need specific to your brand. Don't let the thought of creating prompts or the code in the prompt field worry you. The second custom GPT in the AI Employee Kit guide, Jason P. Ryder, will do all the hard work. So let's open up that GPT. All we need to do to get started is click on Write My Task Sheet Prompt. Now it's going to start the process to help you through and write your prompt. It'll ask you what the prompt should be about. So let's say that you like to write a custom thank you email to every client 2 weeks after you service them. So we'll go into the chat and I'll say, I need a basic thank you letter. I don't want to make this a sales email, just a sincere thank you email to thank them for their business. And I'll click send. Now it will give you a revised prompt. And just like the steps with the brand identity worksheet, you'll also have the suggestions and questions you can answer to make it better and more specific to how you want this task done. We'll say the prompt is good and we'll come in here and just type in "that's right" and click on send. Then it will start writing that prompt into the JSON code to deliver better outputs. Once it has finished the code, we're going to go ahead and copy this code. We'll come inside of our task sheet and we'll come in this last section and we'll paste in the prompt. Then we'll go back to GPT and we'll simply type in yes and hit send. Then it will give you the title, trigger, and full description so you then can just copy those and paste them directly into the spreadsheet. You can now repeat this process for all of the tasks you need included that you would like to automate. Once you add all your tasks, we're going to go ahead and click File. We'll come down to Download and we'll click on Microsoft Excel. I'm going to go ahead and replace the task sheet that's in the AI Employee Kit with the new one we just finished exporting from Google Sheets. I'll go ahead and move this one to trash and I'll drag in the new task sheet. And now that we've got the brand files ready and our branded tasks added to the task sheet, it's time to actually build out our AI Copilot. To get started, we'll go to ChatGPT, and in the sidebar, we're going to go ahead and click on New Project. Now we'll enter in what we want to call this. I'll just go ahead and put in the brand's name. Once I put in the brand's name, I'll click on Create Project. Now we'll start by putting in our instructions. We'll open up the instructions inside of our AI Employee Kit. We'll go ahead and highlight all the information in the instructions. We'll copy the instructions and come back to ChatGPT. And inside of our project, if we come up to the top right-hand corner and click on the three dots, we'll be able to then click on Add Instructions. When the instruction panel opens, you'll paste in the instructions. And once you have pasted in the instructions, we'll click on Save. And now all that's left for us to do is upload the files from our AI Employee Kit. We'll do so by simply clicking on Add Files. From the Project Files window, you can either drag the files into the window or you can click on Add Files to browse and find the files on your computer. I'll drag them in. I'll start with the brand files. We'll drag both of them in, then we'll open the core knowledge files. I'll highlight all the core knowledge files and bring them in. And the last file is the task sheet. We'll drag it in, and when all files have uploaded, we'll go ahead and click the X to close out the project files. And congratulations, you now have built your AI Copilot. Be sure to watch part 2 so you can see your AI Copilot in use. And as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the top.